Valkyrie files for another ETF, this time an Ethereum Futures ETF. We're going to talk about that today. Welcome back to the Blockhash Podcast channel. Let's talk crypto. Make sure to check out our sponsor, BENFT. They're revolutionizing education using DeFi methods and artificial intelligence. Links are in the description below. Check them out. They are fantastic. Also, check out our Patreon. For 2 cups of coffee a month, you get chart analysis on Patreon before it goes out on YouTube. So check that out. Love coffee. Love coffee. Happy Wednesday, guys. Well, if you're watching this later in the week, then it's definitely not Wednesday. All right. So Valkyrie, I'm going to read through this. I'll give you my thoughts at the end, as always. So Valkyrie filed for an Ethereum Futures ETF on Wednesday, titled the Valkyrie Ethereum Strategy ETF. Valkyrie joins Volatility Shares, Bitwise Asset Management, and Grayscale, to name a few, in announcing funds focused on Ether futures. Filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission shows that Valkyrie will invest indirectly in standardized cash-settled futures contracts on Ether, which are currently traded on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. As Blockworks previously reported, Valkyrie filed a 497 filing to change the name of the Valkyrie Bitcoin Strategy ETF to Valkyrie Bitcoin and Ether Strategy ETF. It would, however, keep the NASDAQ ticker. The fund will also change to pursue its investment objective through managed exposure to a combination of Bitcoin futures contracts and Ether futures contracts. The newest filing for the fund would be in addition to the 497. Volatility Shares announced on Tuesday that it was aiming for an October 12th launch for its Ether Strategy ETF, though it awaits SEC approval. And earlier this month, Bloomberg intelligence analyst Eric Balchunas compared Valkyrie's attempt to change the name and broaden its investment objective to the first pot ETF. Valkyrie just filed a 497 that they plan to convert BTF into a Bitcoin Ether ETF on October 3rd, which would be 2 weeks ahead of the other 13 filers scheduled to launch. We'll see if this flies. Something similar happened back in the day with MJ, the first pot ETF. With the newest filing, however, Balchunas noted that this might be a sign of the SEC's reluctance to skip the line and get a fund out ahead of competitors. Bids to launch FTS focus on other futures contracts have not been successful. I wouldn't say not successful, but super delayed. The SEC has since indicated a willingness to consider Ether futures ETFs, according to reporting from Blockworks. So, important to note here, we have a number of Bitcoin spot ETFs that are, listed due for a some kind of approval, denial, or delay in September. Then after September, I believe the next date for review will be October, then January, and then March of next year is the final one. So, and one of those in September is BlackRock's ETF. So there's a lot happening right now. BlackRock probably having the best track record of any of these asset managers and players trying to do the same thing. They will likely get their ETF. The question is, will BlackRock get it in September, or will this get delayed as far as into spring of next year, January or March? We don't know. But what's interesting is that even though everyone's focused on doing this for Bitcoin, they haven't thought about the other side of the coin. What about altcoins? What about Ethereum in particular, the second biggest blockchain in the world by market cap? And Valkyrie is doing that by going after Ethereum futures ETFs. And futures ETFs are not something that's foreign to the market. There are futures ETFs out there even for Bitcoin. There are funds out there for other cryptocurrencies through Grayscale. So a lot of these things are getting converted over to potential ETFs, either spot or future. Until we have a Bitcoin spot ETF, that changes the game in so many ways. That carrot has been dangling over our head for years now. But the real opportunity, in my opinion, other than Bitcoin, is getting an Ethereum spot ETF filed. This, again, with Valkyrie, is an Ethereum futures ETF, but I do have a feeling at some point, if the futures ETF gets approved, the next step will be an Ethereum spot ETF. If you offer a diversity of trading for investors, institutional, large and small, corporate, retail, whatever it may be, accredited, not just Bitcoin, you open up possibilities into the rest of this market for people to invest. And that's what people need. Like, everyone wants to get a Bitcoin spot ETF, but when you have an Ethereum spot ETF, a Solana spot ETF, a Cardano spot ETF, Polkadot spot ETF, these things will come eventually. And it'll be very important for that to take place and fully legitimize the entire cryptocurrency market, not just Bitcoin. Not just Bitcoin. Now, it'll be a lot harder to get an Ethereum spot ETF, with Bitcoin being the easiest to get a spot Bitcoin ETF, and still Bitcoin spot ETFs having a hard time. So September is going to be massive, all right? August is a bit of a slump. It is a pullback, it is a consolidation. We're waiting on things to come to fruition. September, we will know what's going to happen with these Bitcoin spot ETFs. If they get delayed, then they get delayed. We just have to kick the can down the road. That's what Gary Gensler wants. If they get denied, I'll be shocked. I don't think they'll get denied, especially when you have BlackRock, Fidelity, WisdomTree, players that are very, very powerful, a lot of influence, a lot of pull. There's no way they just get right up denied. It'll either get delayed or approved if we get lucky. And at least one of those gets approved, just one. You open the door for all of them to get approved, but you open the door for Ethereum spot ETFs. And that is what really opens up the wave of investment, is not just Bitcoin, but having a full breadth of access to other crypto assets. That is the most optimistic scenario. The more pessimistic scenario is that we see denials and delays. We will see some delays. I don't know how many, but we probably won't see as many denials just because of where we're at the market, and the SEC just cannot do that without getting further in the spotlight, especially with large asset managers that are doing everything right. Why would you deny it? Especially Bitcoin at this point. So it's a very interesting time. So yeah, we're covering Valkyrie today, but I'm also just giving you my broad opinion on, the ETF market. It's really critical. It really is. And a lot of the retail market doesn't care, but when 70% of crypto globally is traded through derivatives, through ETFs, through futures, then it is important when one gets approved, especially at spot. So it's a very interesting time. Comment your thoughts down below. I want to know what you guys think about this, what you think about Ethereum futures, Bitcoin spot, and Ethereum spot. Let me know in the comments. We'll talk about it. Like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Cheers.